I hold my phone up to the fish tank, filming, because I need proof that I am not imagining it. The water looks clean. The filter hums. A column of bubbles rises in steady strings. The fish drift like slow thoughts. On my screen, the bubbles begin to align. They do it in the same way letters do when you are learning to read and your brain wants meaning so badly it forces shapes into words. I tell myself that is all it is. Patent-seeking. Anxiety, the kind of thing you get when you have been avoiding the dentist for too long. Then the bubbles spell my name, not the nickname people use. My full name, the one that only appears on paperwork. I keep the camera trained on the glass. My hands are steady because I make them steady. I whisper, very quietly, as if the room might hear me. Come on, do it again. The bubbles rise. They wobble. They scatter. They become nothing but bubbles. On the screen, it looks normal. On the screen, there is no name. I lower the phone and my stomach drops as if I have stepped off a curb I did not see. I am trying to prove I am not imagining it, and I am failing in the only way that matters. The waiting room is small and too bright. Everything is beige and wiped down to a shine that makes the corners feel sharp. A television mounted high in the corner plays something with captions muted. I can see a smiling person pointing at a chart. The captions crawl by without sound like a private conversation I am not invited to. 2 chairs away, a man in work boots scrolls on his phone. Across from him, a woman with a tidy bun holds a clipboard against her chest as if it might bite. The receptionist has her back to me, typing. Her monitor throws a pale glow onto her hands. I look back at the fish tank. It sits on a low cabinet beside a rack of outdated magazines. A little sign taped to the glass says please do not tap. I do not tap. I do not breathe too loud. My phone says the video is saved. I open it. I scrub back and forth. Only bubbles. No name. No letters. Just my reflection, faint and warped across the glass, looking like a person who has slept badly for weeks. I shut the video and tell myself the simplest thing. I saw what I expected to see. I am tense. I am nervous. I am primed. The problem is that I did not expect to see my name. The door at the end of the waiting room opens and a dental assistant calls a name that is not mine. A middle-aged man stands, pockets his phone, and disappears through the doorway. The door swings shut with a soft latch. The waiting room settles again. I shift in my seat. The vinyl sticks slightly to the back of my legs. The air smells like mint and something metallic underneath, like coins warmed in a hand. My own paperwork sits on my lap. On the top page, my full name is printed in bold. The same spelling, the same spacing. I fold the papers closed as if that will protect the name from being seen. In the fish tank, the bubbles rise. This time, they do not form my name. They form a word. Wait! I stare, and I feel my mind do the thing it always does when it is afraid. It starts building explanations as fast as it can. The bubbles are making shapes. My brain is turning them into letters. It is like seeing faces in clouds. It is like hearing your name in the shower, but the letters are so clean. The lines of bubbles thicken where they should thicken. The gaps appear where they should. The word holds for 2 full seconds before it breaks apart. I look around the room, wanting someone else to react. No one does. The man in work boots keeps scrolling. The woman with the bun keeps staring at her clipboard. The receptionist keeps typing. My throat goes dry. I lift my phone again, filming. I aim directly at the column of bubbles. The bubbles rise. Not there. I feel the urge to laugh, but it catches in my chest and becomes a hard swallow. I lower the phone. I look directly at the tank with my bare eyes. The bubbles spell another word. Look up. I do not want to. The television is mounted up high. The ceiling tiles are clean. The fluorescent lights are bright enough to make me squint. There is nothing to see up there. Still, my eyes lift. A black dome camera sits in the corner where the walls meet the ceiling. It is angled toward the waiting room. A small red light should be blinking, but it is dark. I tell myself it is off. Then I notice the reflection in the camera dome. It shows the waiting room, curved and distorted. It shows my chair. It shows the fish tank. And it shows a door that does not exist. In the reflection, behind the receptionist's desk, there is a narrow door with a keypad beside it. In reality, behind the desk, there is only a wall with framed certificates. I blink hard. The reflection still shows the door. The certificates on the wall in reality are aligned in a neat row. In the reflection, they are slightly shifted, as if the wall itself has been rearranged to make space for a door. I stand up too quickly, and the woman with the bun glances at me, her eyes briefly sharp with annoyance. I pretend to stretch. I take a step toward the reception desk. The receptionist does not look up. Her nails click on the keyboard. I angle myself so I can see behind her without being obvious. There is no door, just the certificates, their glass catching the overhead lights. My heart pounds anyway. I step back and sit down. I try to make myself small, because some part of me believes that if I do not draw attention, whatever is happening will pass over me. My phone buzzes. The screen lights with a notification. New message. The sender is listed as no service. I stare at it until the letters blur slightly. I have no service in this building. My phone has been struggling since I walked in. I remember glancing at the top corner and seeing the empty bars. I open the message. It is a single line. Stop filming. My skin prickles along my arms. I look at my phone again. At the top of the screen. No bars. Airplane mode is not on. Wi-Fi is not connected. There is no reason a message should arrive. I swipe down to check. The message sits there like it has always been there. I type a reply before I can stop myself. Who is this? The sending indicator spins, then fails. Not delivered. Of course. The room feels quieter, as if the building itself has leaned closer. I look at the fish tank. The bubbles spell another word. Agatha. I am holding my phone. I realize how obvious I am. I slide it into my pocket slowly, like I am obeying. My mouth tastes like the paste they use during cleanings, gritty and minty. The woman with the bun stands. She She approaches the desk and speaks softly to the receptionist. I cannot hear the words, but I watch the receptionist nod. The woman turns and walks through the same door the other patient used. The waiting room is now just me and the man in work boots. He looks up from his phone, eyes flicking to me, then away. My own phone buzzes again in my pocket. I pull it out. Another message. Do not look at the camera again. I do anyway. The dome camera is still dark. The reflection still shows a door that is not there, but now the reflection also shows the man in work boots. In reality, he sits slouched, legs spread, shoulders rounded. In the reflection, his posture is different. He sits upright, head tilted slightly toward me, as if listening, as if he knows I am looking. I turn my head slowly to look at him directly. He is slouched. He is scrolling. I look back at the camera reflection. He is still upright. My hands begin to shake. I force them still by gripping the edge of my chair. The fish tank bubbles continue their steady rise. I try to focus on something normal. The magazines. The smell. The hum of the filter. The muted television with captions. The captions on the television change to a line that makes no sense with the smiling person on screen. Do you have IT? The smiling person continues pointing at the chart. The captions remain. Do you have IT? I look down at my lap as if the answer might be there. Something plastic presses into my thigh under the paperwork. I did not notice it when I sat down. I lift the papers. A security badge lies on the chair beneath them. It is the kind you clip to a lanyard, white plastic with a photo window and a magnetic strip. There is no logo, no name. It is blank, except for a small symbol in the corner that looks like a circle with a line through it. My fingers hover over it. I did not bring a badge. I pick it up anyway. It is warm, as if someone has been holding it. My phone buzzes again. I look at the screen. Yuzo. I swallow. I glance at the receptionist. She is still typing, but her shoulders are too squared. She has not moved in a while. The man in work boots stands suddenly. He does not put his phone away. He just stands staring at the fish tank. His face is blank, but his eyes are wide, fixed. The bubbles rise. They spell. You have IT. The man in work boots takes a step toward me. My body reacts before my mind does. I stand, clutching the badge in my fist. I back toward the wall with the magazines. The man takes another step. His phone screen is dark, but it is pressed to his ear as if he is listening to a call. He speaks, voice low. You should not have that. The receptionist stops typing. Her chair does not turn. She does not look at me, but she speaks, voice calm and flat. Return the badge. I feel the room narrow around me. My phone lights up in my hand without me touching it. A message appears. Do not give IT to them. My pulse hammers against my ribs. I look at the badge again. In the photo window, something shifts. A face appears, like an image coming into focus. It is my face. Not a photo I recognize, but it is me staring straight ahead, eyes wide, jaw clenched. The background is not a plain wall. It looks like a hallway, fluorescent lights doors on either side. Doors I have never seen. The receptionist's chair turns slowly now. Her smile is polite, practiced. The kind of smile you get when you are about to be told to fill out another form. She holds out her hand. Please? The man in work boots is closer. His eyes flick to the badge, then to my face. His lips move without sound for a moment, like he is repeating something he has been told. Return. The fish tank bubbles surge, as if the filter has been turned up. The bubbles spout. Bruh, I do not want to cause a scene. That is the strongest instinct in my body, stronger even than fear. Do not be the person who panics in a waiting room. Do not be the person who makes the receptionist call security. Do not be the person everyone remembers. But my hand closes tighter around the badge, and I feel the magnetic strip scrape my palm. My phone buzzes again. Behind you. I spent. The wall behind the receptionist desk is still covered in certificates, but one of the frames is slightly crooked now, and beside it, a seam runs vertically, thin as a hairline crack. A door that was not there when I walked in. The seam darkens as if the door is settling into place. There is no knob, no handle, just the seam and a small black panel beside it that looks like a card reader. The badge in my hand seems to pull toward it like a compass needle. The receptionist stands. Her smile does not change. That door is not for patients. The man in work boots moves to block the main exit. I look at the normal door I came through. It is still there. It looks farther away than it should. The television captions change again. You are late. My phone lights. The screen shows a new message thread, but the sender line is blank. The message reads, swipe in. I glance at the card reader by the impossible door. It has no lights. It is dead plastic. Still, I feel certain it will wake up if I touch the badge to it. I should not. That is another instinct, sharp and animal. But the other door, the normal one, is blocked. The receptionist is stepping around the desk now, moving with the calm certainty of someone who knows exactly how this ends. My fingers tremble. I raise the badge. The fish tank bubbles churn so hard the fish scatter into the corners. The bubbles spell frantic. Do not. My phone buzzes so hard it nearly slips from my hand. A message appears on the lock screen. Device offline. Then, beneath it, another message arrives anyway. If you open IT, you will see yourself. I stare at the words. My phone screen goes black. I press the side button. Nothing. It is powered off. The receptionist reaches for my wrist. Her fingers are cold. I jerk away and lunge toward the impossible door, because there is nowhere else to go. I slap the badge against the dead reader. A soft beep answers, impossibly loud in the quiet room. The seam in the wall widens. The door opens inward on silent hinges, revealing a hallway washed in fluorescent light. It is the hallway from the badge photo. It smells like a waiting room, but stronger, like mint crushed into metal. The receptionist voice follows me, still calm. You really should not go in there. The man in work boots says my full name, perfectly pronounced. I step across the threshold, the door begins to swing shut behind me, and for a split second I see the waiting room through the narrowing gap. The fish tank bubbles rise in one last clear word. Mirror. My phone, still black, vibrates in my palm. A message arrives from the powered off screen, lighting it for a heartbeat. Turn around. I turn, and the hallway lights flicker, and at the far end I see someone standing still, holding up a phone as if filming me. It is my face, and the door behind me clicks fully closed.